Well, if it isn't January, or was, depending on when I'm uploading this. The first month of the calendar that also coincides with the first half of the year. It's been 100 days since Christmas, and since then, I've been stuck in a perpetual loop of switching between mindsets, not knowing if this is the perfect time for relaxing or setting up the content grinder to cook up some juicy burgers for you. And I feel like this is the furthest thing away from an original experience. Everyone treats January like they're stuck in limbo because you lose track of time and your sanity dwindles to the point of seeing gigantic spiders. But I feel like Silent Hill would be a more accurate comparison, because the true villain was your own depreciating psyche caused by the awful weather. Yeah, let's not beat around the bush and admit that we all hate January because of the weather. The snow has been ruined by global warming, but you'll still freeze your balls off getting out of the house. You spend December in crowded malls, engaging in aggressive consumerism, cozied up by the fire with a hot chocolate, or tucked in your bed watching Home Alone, so you didn't feel the harsh cold that sends bears into hibernation. Then January rolls around, putting an end to your soothing slumber. It doesn't matter that nature is still on pause until spring. You have to get up and restart your day-to-day life all over again. Your responsibilities don't care that your body is still in shock from the drastic routine change. You need to get out that door and push through the howling wind in order to get to work and increase those shareholder values. The cherry on top is that there is nothing waiting for you back home that can help you relax and take your mind off of this exhausting transitional period. January's media output resembles our empty human spirit because there is nothing of quality out there. January has become known for being a landfill where companies dump their most forgettable slop in order to get it out of their system before their fiscal year ends. January combines one of the worst parts of capitalism, that is the grind, with the lack of art that makes it bearable. I may sound like a Debbie Downer who wants to kill himself, and despite half of that being true, I promise I'm bringing you all the positive vibes with the perfect way of tackling this void of time and joy that is January. Roguelikes. Because what is the best thing that you can do when you feel like going insane, other than doing the same thing over and over again expecting shit to change? Hear me out. It's too much of a confusing time to be venturing into a vast open world. I'm too emotionally exhausted to immerse myself into a heartfelt narrative. I don't have enough time to invest into an extensive RPG, and I don't have any friends to engage with the multiplayer genre. I'm also still full of holiday leftovers, so I'm only capable of consuming something bite-sized. If you feel this type of way, you cannot tell me that a genre focused on mastering a gradually evolving gameplay loop during a repeated cycle of distinctive runs which give you the ability to control your own pace doesn't sound like the best thing to distract you from the fact that every January feels like you're back in COVID times. Then you can watch 2 movies a day, and that low-key sounds better. But because the video about the roguelikes I played has to happen, we'll save the movie talk after I've watched all the Best Picture nominees to see if Sinners still remains the best film of last year. Spoiler alert, it probably will. Anyway, here's how roguelikes saved my January and how they can save yours too. Repetition. Yeah, I'm structuring the video by making the word rogue an acronym, sue me. January is all about mindless fun and reliable structures anyway, just like roguelikes. Picture this. The year has just started. You quickly lose track of time, and before you even notice it, days start blending together and you feel like you're stuck in an endless loop. You will need something to ground yourself to in order to keep your sanity level above the necessary threshold. The repetitive nature of roguelikes not only grounds the player to a satisfying gameplay loop that constantly builds upon itself, but it also scratches the itch of taking it one step at a time. Each run is technically its own unique game, which gives you the flexibility of approaching its challenges however you desire, and because no 2 runs are the same, you escape monotony through its endless scope. It clings to you, making you crave for more, and as you keep coming back, you start getting more engrossed in the progress that you made. Roguelikes can easily become the reason you are excited about your day, because the thoughts of trying out new things, overcoming previous records, or just going casually at it keep you feeling excited. They're an anchor for allowing you to visualize how you should approach each run with a different mindset, focusing only on how to better yourself. Practice makes perfect. but it's not about being perfect, it's about the practice, so practice is perfect. Replayability is a structure that succeeds at maintaining a healthy relationship with the player, as it offers a hefty amount of dopamine in an upward slope the more time you spend with the game, unlike with heroin or League of Legends. This repeating cycle is also symbolic for January, as everything is constantly set in motion and then abruptly put to an end, and the cycle keeps on expanding as player choice is prioritized, making you incentivized to keep coming back, especially when you control your own pace. Obligation, as in zero obligations. Look, when it comes to stress and responsibilities, our day-to-day lives got it covered. Roguelikes tend to offer the opposite experience, as they eliminate the concept of mandatory. There are no rules set in stone regarding on how you should play the game, so your creativity becomes the only limit bestowed upon you. There is no sense of urgency that limits your ability to take everything in. Hell, you don't even have to play the game. There is no battle boss that forces you to play for a certain number of hours each day in order to get everything. The segmented structure of this genre is what allows the player to saturate a unique and personal experience. Think of roguelikes like a breakfast buffet. If you're feeling hungry, you can have yourself a feast. You're counting calories, you can have a small portion, and if you missed it because you slept in, don't worry, it's also open for brunch. Putting up a roguelike doesn't hit you with a roadblock and demands your entire attention in order to give you a satisfying conclusion. You can have the same amount of fun in one run as you can have in 10, because there are no limits that the game pushes onto you, and more importantly, no obligation for you to go on unless you want to. You can do daily runs and go on about your day, or you can play Balatro and ignore everything about your life. Falling back into a routine can only be achieved if you allow yourself to maintain a consistent pace by focusing on flexibility and open-mindedness. In other words, roguelikes are a perfect way to ground yourself in a state of flow, as your fun is not constrained by the time you put into the game, instead conducted through the immense sense of accomplishment that you get from outperforming your previous self. The G stands for goal or goals. It's truly up to you. The same flexibility that allows you to approach the gameplay loop in a unique fashion time and time again can also strengthen the structure of a progressive mindset by setting up reasonable goals with the purpose of enabling character growth. Look, it's January and everyone's making their unrealistic New Year's resolutions, which they will most likely abandon by the end of the month. Statistically, you cannot go from 0 to 100 without pacing yourself, because you will most likely burn out. Setting up reasonable expectations as rough outlines for your game plan achieves the opposite. When I'm playing roguelikes, I'm not stressing myself out regarding a compulsory set of tasks. I'm pausing all the time, and I'm trying my best to strategize in order to find the best possible solution for the situation I'm in. My only goal is to learn and improve as a player, and that keeps me grounded as well. If I don't manage to go beyond my previous run, that's fine. I'm still gathering information and refining my skills. If I choke at the final boss, I'm not wasting a good attempt. I'm actually proving myself that victory is 100% achievable, and that's because my expectations are broad and forgiving. That's the difference between goals and obligations. One limits you, and the other one functions more as a tool for guidance. When you're going through the same motions over and over again, you can only set yourself up for success by focusing on small improvements that can snowball into substantial development. This time, focus more on gathering resources. This time, pay more attention to the boss's moveset. Don't rush the process and let yourself die stupidly a couple of times. Your enjoyment is not meant to be min-max, so approach the experience with a mix between curiosity and determination. Roguelikes taught me that it's fine if I don't finish a game. I can focus on having fun with these titles rather than chasing down the end credits at the expense of my time and comfort. At the end of the day, these games should be about having fun, right? That's the utilitarian argument for roguelikes. Uplifting your spirit. Just look outside. Is it depressing? You might be the outlier and live in an exotic place, but for most people, January looks like England throughout the year. That being the case, you will probably want to stay away from something slow that will mellow you out even more, and the balls to the walls thrilling jetpack joyride won't complement your setting that well. You need an inspiring momentum set in a depressive backdrop, kind of like Dark Souls, but without the drastic rageful implications of Dark Souls. It's easier to rage quit a run and come back later when you don't carry the momentum of a 10-minute boss fight. When you play roguelikes, your most predominant activities will be dying and starting over, and at first glance, this doesn't sound like the most uplifting activity. You want to relax, and it's understandable that you would prefer winning and not getting sent back to the beginning over and over again. But this gameplay loop is the perfect stimulation for growth, which inherently raises up morale. You know the priceless feeling of overcoming your past mistakes and proving to yourself that you actually have what it takes to be better? Well, that lies at the core of this genre. There wouldn't be any joy in exposing yourself to a never-ending cycle of viciousness if you weren't given the tools and the incentive to improve as a player. That's just League of Legends. When you play roguelikes, the intricate gameplay mechanics get you hooked, but the rapidly evolving sense of worth is what's going to keep you coming back, as witnessing in real time how you become a better version of yourself over and over again turns out to be pretty rad. While everyone is distracted trying to one-up each other, you can focus on appreciating how far you've come, and that serenity can only lead you to further progress. Daily runs lead to daily development. You could have also worked for Unity and how you can focus on strengthening the bonds with your friends when no one wants to go outside, and roguelikes facilitate the perfect environment for rich cooperation. But I don't have any friends, so I will take what I can get. You can do you. Last but not least, we have energy. I mean, technically we don't. I'm still exhausted from the holiday. The sun sets at like 4 p.m. and every day I wake up in complete darkness. The universe is sending me mixed signals because Mother Nature wants me to rest, but humans decided that January is when we rise from the dead and get back at it. If I didn't have roguelikes to jumpstart my basic motor skills, I wouldn't be able to increase those shareholder values. Even if we're talking about dungeon crawlers or shooters or beat-em-ups, this genre puts your skill level at the center of the experience. There is a varied assortment of flavors at your disposal, but you're going to be challenged either way. These challenges are going to wake you up. I could have easily recommended farming simulators or a plethora of other cozy games and make the argument that this is the time for taking it easy, but I obviously didn't, because this is the time for action. I'm not saying that you should go crazy, but engrossing yourself in a continuously expanding environment whose sole purpose is to curate your skill level doesn't sound like a terrible time. Whenever I boot up a roguelike, I get lost in its extensive gameplay systems, as mastering them quickly becomes the most satisfying cycle to go through. With each run, you see yourself paying less and less attention to what's in front of you, as most of your actions start getting incorporated into your muscle memory, and you start to focus on the minute details that make the most amount of difference. As you progress further and further, your goals start shifting and the difficulty increases, but that just gets your blood moving. It's still all about the energy. On a physical level, as your brain gets constantly bombarded by endorphins, I mean, just look at the screen. Do you even understand what's going on? It's chaotic, but it's controlled chaos, making the experience an entire playground for you to fuck around in. And also on a spiritual level, as the positive energy gained from overcoming yourself outweighs the insanity of repeating the same cycle time and time again. January somehow manages to confuse me for all of the wrong and also the right reasons. I get lost in the fog of my own mind as I try to make sense of the past and the future at the same time. I procrastinate because time becomes an abstract aspect beyond my comprehension. I close myself off from the world to replicate the cold atmosphere in the streets. But I also get the good type of anxiety, being unsure and also excited about starting a new year fresh. I feel more motivated than ever to approach each day with the same level of commitment. I feel free to explore the world at my own pace and full of curiosity in order to get a better understanding about the cycle I'm in. And I feel like roguelikes convey the same emotions. The thought of losing all of your progress and being forced to start from the beginning is definitely intimidating, but the illusion breaks very quickly as you discover that you're constantly getting better. Having endless permutations at your disposal may seem overwhelming, but the more you experiment and fuck around, the more you realize that there are no correct answers for your problem. Only your imagination can lead to your victory, as well as your determination, pushing through many obstacles in order to achieve your goal, which is not arriving at a particular destination. It's about the journey.
What the fuck?
Yes, the main objective of roguelikes is not reaching the end credits, but mastering the game. The more you play, the more fun you're going to have, because the game constantly opens up as your skill level increases, and there are practically no limitations when it comes to that structure. Endless fun potential. But you can also keep it casual and knock a couple of rounds whenever you feel like it. That way you can still ground yourself to a consistent productive routine. And that's what January is all about. Finding your balance, floating in an endless void. God, I'm sick of this shit. I can't wait for February. More specifically, February 10th. I can't wait for Mugenics, baby. Fucking Mugenics. Yeah, God, I can't wait for Mugenics. I can't wait to play more roguelikes in February too. Mugenics is going to be the best. Let's all play Mugenics on February 10th. Mugenics, February 10th. See you there.